Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are we all doing on this Tuesday morning? This is Reganelite here. Hello, everyone. How you guys all doing? Guys and girls all doing? Hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome to Good Morning with myself, Reganelite, here on Tuesday, the 3rd of February, 2026. Just gone 11 o'clock here UK time. For reference, we are dual streaming live on youtube.com/Reganelite and on twitch.tv/Reganelite1, just for reference there. Just before I come to the people, lovely people in the chats, let me just remind people, those who are new to this live stream, what we normally do is we go for about an hour long. I'll give you guys the daily quote of the day from the quote calendar. We also have a look at the weather and see what the weather is going to be happening over the next couple of days. And then we have a look at some of the news. We look in particular, we go to websites and see what news is, stories that they have for us here. Give me UK news specifically for this hour up to 12 o'clock specifically. Just for reference, so if you're interested in news outside the UK, I'm not going to have too much of that, but we may touch on touch on it depending on what the feeds are saying there as well. A good morning to all those. I'm not going to say that name, but I'll say to 87. Good morning to you on Twitch, Buddy Von Eric on Twitch there as well, and Charlie Mason 17. Good morning to you there. I'm freezing. We'll get to the weather in minus 16 degrees Celsius here in Boston. Oh my God! Please stay warm. Please stay warm there. Please stay warm there. Redneck on Twitch says hi from the UK. Hello, Redneck. Good to see you there. I hope you are doing well. Let's see who's in the YouTube chat there. Sarah Davis. Good morning to you. Viper Scott, one of our moderators. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Pete's music. We always jam into Pete's music. Good to see you there, Pete. Can't help myself here whenever I say Pete's music. Wee Bud, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Marty Von Erich, where have I just heard that name before? Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Mel, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. No need for forks when you've got a big snap. Indeed. David King, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. Lots of Americans talking about the Epstein Mossad connection. Why is mainstream media silent? Interesting. Yeah, that's a very good question. Well, I'm going to be touching on the Epstein stuff on the final global news story that we'll be doing later on today at 4 o'clock. I'm sure I'm going to be touching on Epstein in some way, shape, or form. So do join me for that if you can. Right, let's get started, guys. Here is today's daily quote. Here it is here, just for reference. You can see it there. It's an unknown one, so we don't know who originally said it. Here. And by the way, excuse me, if you want one for yourself, guys, if you're interested in having one of these to have every single day to turn over, you can get it at littlepennythoughts.com. Link is in the description if you guys are interested there as well. Here it is, guys. The man who moves mountains begins by carrying away small stones. The man who moves mountains begins by carrying away small stones. That's true, isn't it? That is true. That is true. You start small and then you get bigger and bigger and bigger, to be fair, don't you? There. So, yeah. I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I'm losing my mind today. No worries, Matty. You did. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Tomorrow's one is... a really nice one. I like tomorrow's one. Can't wait to share it with you guys. We're not just going to be doing tomorrow's Good Morning Show. We also got Prime Minister's Questions tomorrow as well. So we have that to look forward to as well there. Right, let's have a look at the weather, guys. How do we think the weather has been doing today? I have forgotten to zoom out. I set the wind gauges and everything, but I haven't zoomed out. So let me do that now. Here it is. Here's our weather today, guys. Just for reference here, before anybody's curious, the website I'm using is the bbc.co.uk/weather map. Link is in the YouTube description if you guys are interested in what I'm using for reference. So I've set it to today at 6 o'clock UK time for reference here. So this is our big, blue, beautiful planet here. You can see London at 6 degrees there, but you can see plenty of rainstorms, plenty of snowstorms as well. Starting in, of course, over in North America here, we've got Yellowknife minus 22. God, You know when it hit as low as minus 40? Was that one time where it was like minus 40? It was brutal, absolutely brutal. Let's zoom in a little bit, see here. Anchorage -2. They got quite a snowstorm there. Churchill -16. Winnipeg -16. Oh, that's cold. Chicago -4 there as well. Very chilly there. New York 0. Ottawa -6. Vancouver 10. Denver 10. San Francisco 13. San Diego 19. Nashville 9 degrees. New Orleans 19. Miami at 18 degrees there. Mexico City 18 there. Kingston 26. San Jose at 21. As we move down into the South American continent there, we can see those temperatures there. Most parts very warm and toasty, as it normally is standard on the South American continent, with their fair share of tropical rainstorms, as we can see there. At 30, 28, 25, 29, 29, 26. La Paz at 15 degrees there. But for the most part, the continent is quite warm and toasty there. Good morning to you, Witchy Goth there. We got supposed to be getting snow later. Witchy Goth's supposed to be getting where she is. Good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. Guys, make sure you check out Witchy Goth's YouTube channel if you get a chance to do so, please. I believe the link for her channel is in the description if anyone's interested here. Have a look at some of the temperatures on the African continent here from Central and Southern Africa here. We can see at 30, 28, 18 in some parts there. 27, 24 there. Cape Town 23 there. Very little rain again on the continent, which is becoming normalized. It's not good that they don't get a lot of rain in parts of Africa. Hopefully they will get some there, but some people will probably tell me that is the norm around this time of year. Moving all the way over to the other side of the world. Auckland, Wellington in New Zealand, 19, 14 respectfully there. Australia's parts, Hobart 14, Melbourne 20. Brisbane 21, Perth 19. Alice Springs at 25 degrees. And Darwin at 27 there, with their fair share of rainstorms there. Port Vila 25 there as well. Singapore 25. They got very, very nice warm weather there, but of course it's wet and miserable at the same time there. Heat and rain is not a very nice combination. Not a very nice combination. Bangkok 26 there. Philippines there at toasty 24 degrees there. Tokyo at 2 degrees there. So it looks like they've cleared some of the snow. Some of the snowstorms have cleared away from the looks of it there on the island of Japan. Beijing at 0 degrees there. Shanghai at 6 degrees there. Dhaka 20 there. New Delhi at 12 degrees there. Moving a bit more into the Middle East there, we can see Tehran at 11 degrees there, getting some snow and rainstorms there in the Middle East there. Baghdad 15, Kuwait 16, City 19 there respectfully. Tisbali at 6 there. Let me just have a look. Before we do Europe, let's just see our friends over in Iceland. What are they going through today? They're going through 5 degrees, guys. 5 degrees there. And there's no temperature gauges there, but you can imagine it's pretty cold up in Greeceland right now. I think we can pretty much say that for sure. Good morning, Billy Kershaw. Hope you are doing well. And Ice Comb, good morning to you as well there. We had 23 inches of snow. It says 87 on Twitch. 23 inches. Wow. Stay warm. Stay warm as best you possibly can out there. It's stay warm as best you can out there. So let's have a look at Europe's temperatures here. We got Madrid 6, Lisbon at 11 there. Massive rainstorm on the country Portugal there is what they're forecasting there. Tripoli there, 21 degrees. Tunis 15, Algeciras 11 there. Paolo 14, Rome 13, Nice 11. So a few bits of rainstorms in the Mediterranean and on the Italian capital there. Taria 13. For some reason, they're not giving Athens these temperatures. I don't know why. But on northern parts of Turkey are experiencing some snowstorms coming up from the Black Sea there. We can see Istanbul at 5, Antica 3 there. Bucharest 5, Chistu -7, Zagreb 7, Bern 3, Vienna 2, Prague 0 with quite a frozen snowstorm coming over them, as well as seeping over France and Germany. Respectfully there we can see, and Berlin, the capital of Germany, at -6 degrees there. Warsaw a very cold -14. We saw those cold temperatures already in Poland, and we can see again those very, very cold temperatures. Let's give plenty of warm hugs as we can to our Ukrainian friends and allies right now. -18 degrees, as not only do they suffer these horrible harsh cold conditions, but are still facing relentless attacks from the evil Putin administration and its warmongering madness. Moscow minus 18 there, and we have other parts minus 17, minus 18, minus 13 there. St. Petersburg minus 15 there. Obviously, stay warm. I mean that to the Russian people. I hope they stay nice and warm as best they possibly can there. Brussels 8 and Paris at 9 degrees respectively there. And we come over to the UK where we are. The majority of us are here. We can see here temperatures here. Manchester 4, London 6, Cardiff 5, Dublin 6, Belfast 5 here. So if I pull it back a little bit, this is set. This is 12 o'clock. This is what they're forecasting within less than an hour of what they're expecting here. With some snow, with some rain and forecast there, as well as there should be. Some of you guys may be experiencing some snow right now up in the Highlands in parts of Scotland there. Let me know in the comments if you are getting some snow there. But if we move it a bit further on, gauge it a bit further on here, we should be getting some rain forecast. There's definitely going to be some rain forecast later on where I am. I have not seen any rain outside yet from where I am. I live just on the outskirts of southeast London in case anyone's interested whereabouts I am. But they are forecasting some rain, but it looks like it may be coming within the less than the next hour or so, maybe going to be hitting there. But it looks like I'm going to be getting it all day there, but we can see there those temperatures are going to be staying roughly around about the same. And there will be some scattered snow as well around northern parts of Wales, as well as in the Midlands, northern parts of England, southern Scotland, as well as the Highlands of Scotland and northern parts of Scotland there. Very little rain or maybe some tiny bits of snow perhaps in the Northern Ireland, but most of the part will be dry in most parts there from the looks of it there. Going overnight there, it looks like overnight, this is what the temperatures are we are forecasting overnight tonight into Wednesday morning. These are the temperatures we're expecting. So not too much change to the temperatures to what they are now here. But they'll drop a little bit. Oh, excuse me. Is what we're getting there. So again, some of that snow is still going to be there, as well as parts of Scotland there. Moving on into Wednesday morning here, these are what some of the temperatures we're going to be experiencing a bit later on here. 4, 6, 7, Edinburgh 3, Belfast 9, Dublin 8 there as well. It looks like it's going to dry. It'll be a bit of a dry spell on Wednesday morning, parts of where I am in the Midlands and most of Wales there. Northern Ireland get a bit of rain as well as tiny bits on the island. As for Northern England and most of Scotland, are going to experience quite a bit of rain and snow. From the looks of it, it looks like it's going to be forecasting there. It's what they're looking at here. Move a bit further on into lunchtime here. It looks like, yeah, they're going to be roughly around about, it's going to be roughly around about the same. It looks like later on in the day, it looks like we'll start dissipating. So looks like Wednesday, yeah, a bit Wednesday later on tomorrow, that will start to dissipate. So it should start to clear up. Rain and snow in most parts of Scotland there later on, as well as the rest of the UK will start clearing up here. Temperatures reaching as high as 7 degrees in some parts there. Going overnight there is some of this showers that's going to be hitting the northern parts of Scotland, as well as tiny bits in Ireland there, but most of it is going to be dry overnight here. Overnight overall going into the next day here. Into Thursday morning, we'll have a quick look at Thursday morning as well. These are what temperature gauges here, so roughly around about, not too much change in terms of the temperatures there. Here 777, 665 there, 67. I get the reference there. With some possible maybe some drops of snow in here, parts in northern England, and some rain forecasting down in the southwest of England. There we can see there. Zooming it, crossing it over a bit further more, there will be some of that there, as well as it looks like some parts of Scotland and maybe bits in the Highland going to be experiencing some snow again. On the Thursday morning, temperatures low again at 6, 4, 3 and 4 Thursday morning. Like those there will dip back up to about 8 degrees in some parts, or some as high as 5 degrees there. We can see some of these spots of rain here and there. So there'll be parts where they'll be dry, and there'll be parts where it's going to be bit of rain and snow there. Of course, going into Thursday night, this is what we're going to be this is what they're forecasting Thursday night here. This is overnight on Friday, experiencing apparently there's going to be a rainstorm coming in from southwest England. A bigger rainstorm is going to be hitting parts of Ireland, Wales and southern parts of England there. Well, it looks like Scotland's going to have a dry night on Friday from Thursday night into Friday morning there. Friday, 6 o'clock, they're expecting parts of northern Wales and parts of Midlands of England to experience some snow, as well as possible some patches of snow on the Highlands of Scotland. There's what's looking forecasting as well. As parts of Ireland, Northern Ireland, also going to be experiencing bits of parts of rain there as well. So please be aware of that. Temperatures will be, some parts are going to increase quite significantly in temperatures, other parts are not. London as high as 10 degrees apparently. Cardiff 7, Manchester 6, Dublin 8, Belfast 6, Edinburgh 4. There is what they're forecasting here. And we'll just have a quick look of what potentially may be happening on Saturday here. Temperatures on Saturday, looks like there'll be some rain and snow in some parts. Temperatures looks like 9-10 degrees in some parts there. But again, the temperatures will dip back down there from the looks of it for Sunday there. So this is what we're going to be forecasting. Yeah, so bits of rain and snow here and there. Not too much change in terms of temperatures. No real increase in temperatures yet. We'll see how things go as time goes on there. I'm going out to docks later. Got my little outfit ready. T-shirt, shirt, jumper, gillets and lumberjack jacket, scarf, gloves and Russian flap hat. Bring it on, says Peak Music. Stay warm and stay warm as best you possibly can. Greenland. Thank you, Mel, for correcting me, auto-correcting me there. Yeah, I did. Did I say Greenland? I did say Greenland, didn't I? There. I did say that. Right, let's have a look at the news, guys. Go start from the Telegraph from there, and then we'll go from there. From there, the Times, the Financial Times, the iPaper, the Independent, BBC, Sky News, and the Guardian. We're going to be looking at today. We'll start with the right-wing paper, the Tory graph, the Reform graph, the misleading graph, the wrong graphs, whatever graphs you want to call them. This is what they've got on the front of their web page here at the moment. Their headlines are Gordon Brown's mistakes on Mandelson has blown up in Starmer's face. Was it Gordon Brown's mistakes, or was it the case that he did not know? Is it a mistake that he brought in Peter Mandelson? Well, it's easy to say that in hindsight, but did he know about his links to Jeffrey Epstein? Did he know about them? And if he did, was he aware enough to know what was going on? And that's a worthy question to ask. It's easy to say, oh, Gordon Brown screwed up now, but we don't know if he knew that at the time. And that's not me defending Gordon Brown. That's just putting things in perspective. Landlord pulls pint of Rachel Thieves after Labour's tax rage. He's actually got a drink there called Rachel's Thieves. Dear, oh dear. Cameron, spiteful Starmer is taking wrecking ball to schools, apparently. Lammy faces scrutiny ahead of Mandelson inquiry. Sarah Ferguson charity closes after Epstein revelations. Surging women cancers, but not men's. Yeah, why are we not talking about men's? Talking about men as well. That's a good question. China unveils a flying aircraft carrier. That's is that really real? That looks like something out of a video game. God, blimey. That's quite a feat. Looks like something out of a video game. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Clintons are to testify in Epstein's inquiry. Oh, I'm sure we'll touch on that a bit later on Global News. Elon Musk strikes 1.25 trillion deal to unite SpaceX and Grok. Yeah, an AI chatbot controlling SpaceX. What could go wrong, guys? What could possibly go wrong? Cracks emerging in Iranian regime over response to protests. Yeah, so it looks like the regime are not clear about what they want to do with the protests, because shooting them and killing them is not working. Arc de Trump threatens to dwarf Washington Monument, and snowboarder dies after backpack caught in a ski lift there. Council's Doge debate over council elections. A veteran at 91 years old wins trampoline in gold. That's cool. That's cool. It's raining iguanas in Florida as frozen reptiles fall from trees in a cold snap. Can I send links, says 87. I won't click on any links on the Twitch, but if you want to send links on the Discord, I know that you don't have the Discord link on Twitch, but on the YouTube channel, if you go to if you want to join the Patreon, join the Discord community. It's free to join the Discord community. You can leave any links on the general chat there, and I can have a look later if you want to leave ones there. Depending, obviously, it depends what it is, obviously. There. Met Office sacked for comparing Gaza war to the Holocaust. We've spoken about how we feel about that. Rapper claims Poodle more aggressive than his killer XL bullies. Council finds window salesman over small road sign. And the FIFA president is sorry for a cheap joke about British football fans. Yeah, it was pretty tad insulting to say such a thing. Like just implying that all British fans are like that kind of stuff. It's not good. A few falling crime stats won't convince me that the streets of London are safe. That's because you don't live in London. You've never set foot in the capital. I'm absolutely serious. Like, London is a safe city. It's not a perfect city. No city is perfect. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. Please, 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 do not listen to people online who don't know anything about London, who've never set foot in the capital, who've never lived in the capital, never travelled through the capital. I take it from someone who has lived in London, worked in London, travelled many, many times in London. Yeah, is it perfect? No. Does it have its faults? Yes, but so does every other major city. It is not a horrible crime-ridden filled city where if you walk the streets at night you're gonna die. No, it's not like that, guys. It's not. Okay, just don't believe the nonsense coming out of social media. Please don't. Inside disturbing friendship between PT and Epstein. Clinton's testifying Epstein inquiry. Yep, we saw that already. Let's have a look at what they got under UK news, just for reference here. Soldier found hanged after escorting Queen's coffin. Hated ceremonial duties. That's why did he do it if he didn't? Why did he do it if he didn't like it? Was he forced against his parents' will? That's terrible. That's terrible. Anna Taylor-Joy barricaded herself in the bedroom during armed robbery. School missed opportunities to save Harvey Will goods there. Pineapple may not be the worst thing on your pizza. Oh, God, I'm not starting that debate. EU demands Britain's pay fees to join weapons funds. Yeah, you can't just... Yeah, we're not part of the club. We're not part of the membership. So, yeah, we have to pay if we want to be a part of it. Sorry, that's just the way it's going to go. Anyone who complains otherwise has to turn around and say, well, then you're against Brexit. You're obviously against Brexit, right? You agree it was a mistake to leave the European Union. Any other stories that we haven't seen? Doesn't look like it. Okay. I can't open any links for the Telegraph just for reference because they want my money, and I'm not going to give them my money, and they're certainly not worth it, guys. Let's have a look and see what the Times are saying here. So this is under politics here. We'll have a look at the front of the Times in a moment. Starmer urged to strip Mandelson of peerage over stain of Epstein ties. Whatever Starmer can do and his government can do to strip Mandelson of anything, do it. That's my best recommendations, what they can do within their power. Free Hong Kong dissident Jimmy Lau. Dissident Jimmy Lau now. PM urged Xi on China visit. Yeah, we touched on that yesterday. Pay us to care for migrant children reform, tells Labour. Pay us to care. Wow. Talk about sad reform. Yeah. We don't care about these people. We don't care about humanity. We have no morals. We have no souls. That's literally what they're saying. You have to pay us to make us have feelings. Like really, just really, really heartless from reform there. If that story is true. Fortnightly talks agreed with the EU to thrash out Brexit reset. Yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see what comes from that. Labour MP Tunip Silic receives further jail sentences in Bangladesh. Yeah, they keep... Like, the thing is, I don't know... Like, I've touched on that story before in the past with Tunip Silic about her connections to... In particular, her mother connected to corruption in Bangladesh. I don't know how guilty she really is. But it does make me uncomfortable that as a Labour MP, she's having these crimes imposed on her in Bangladesh, and she's not really able to she can't go to Bangladesh because if she does, she'll face prison time. But I do, like, a part of me does feel like, yeah, that I'm not comfortable with her as an MP while this is all. I'm not comfortable with her as an MP while these things are happening in Bangladesh. Yeah, obviously I don't know enough about the story to justify saying, yeah, she should definitely face prison time or whatever for it, because the Labour government are accusing it of basically being rigged in some way, shape, or form. But then something needs to be dealt with here, because it's like, if I'm an MP of her constituents, I would not be if I was an MP from a constituent, I would not be comfortable about it all. I really, really wouldn't. That's just my personal opinion. Because I'd rather she have a clean record, and try to clear her name on this. He was ordered to do it, Reganelite. Who was ordered to do it? Sorry, the chat was a bit slow in responding to whatever I was mentioning earlier. Yeah, we already know about that. Free Jimmy Lane. Countryside valued over good schools and family when choosing new home. Statue of Britain's youngest boxing champion stolen from East London Park. What? Why would you do that? What's the matter with people? John Sweeney's election boost as Greens have stepped aside. Scottish Greens have stepped aside, apparently. NHS to cover travel costs for children with cancer. Which is obviously a good thing. And those are some of the same stories there from the looks of it. Let's have a look at the front of the Times. Epstein had a secret child who was taken from mother at birth. Wow, that makes me... that really makes me uncomfortable. Trump seized $1 billion from Harvard University over anti-Semitism. HMRC will destroy my business after ignoring my pleas for 2 years, apparently. Disrespected, 500k a day. Ronaldo goes on strike and may quit Saudi. $500,000 a day. Like, I don't... Oh, talk about racking in the money. I mean, I know he's the best footballer in the world, Elon Musk SpaceX acquires XAI. Vietnam military secretly planning for US invasion. I need to see that story from somewhere else. I'm not going to take it from the Times. That planning for US invasion. Yeah, okay. Sounds like they're just putting a story together there. Maybe in a video game they might do it. Not sure about real life. Norway's royal son was arrested for knife theft on the eve of a rape trial. Wow. That's pretty bad for Norway. Junior doctors vote to continue strikes for another 6 months there. Another 6 months. Smart motorway defects overwhelmingly caused the fatal of M4 crash, jury told. Why Florida is racing to collect frozen iguanas falling from trees? Yeah, probably because the cold is too much for them. I'm assuming that's the reason. The cold is too much for them. Now, I imagine that's the case. Let's have a look at the Financial Times and see what they are saying today here. Pineapple on pizza is awesome. I'm not a massive pizza fan. £14 cheese on toast, bit steep, and anyone can make it. No big skill required. £14 for cheese on the toast. Where's that? Where are you paying that much money for cheese on toast? I think it's like £4 something, or for a Costa Coffee. I know it's like a cheese toasty for Costa Coffee. It's like nearly £4 or something. I know in London, but there. But £14 for cheese on toast. I'm not sure. Tony, good to see you there. The grocer daughter we have harbored. Those who hate us tolerate those who threaten us, ignoring total weakness us. Article from the New York Times, 2002. The Iron Lady sadly missed. We're not big fans of the Iron Lady, Tony. Not here personally. Riga refers to a pizza, big round cheese on toast. Ah, okay. I'm just going to say this with regards to the pineapple on pizza debate. I've not tried it, but the thing is, the reason I haven't tried it is because I don't like pineapple. So if I don't like pineapple, I'm not going to like pineapple on pizza. That's just really it there, to be fair. So that's just for reference there. Oh, sorry, I didn't answer that. Sorry, 87, I didn't answer that question. Yeah, he was US ambassador for the UK and government and an government MP at the Labour Party. Yes, that's who Peter Mandelson was. Sorry, 87, I missed your comment there. Apologies. Let's have a look at the FT here. So, front page, police is to review allegations against Peter Mandelson in the Epstein scandal. Metropolitan Police announced the move after revelations former minister leaked confidential information as sex offender. Yeah, so this is what they could potentially, criminal charges could be put against him, is leaking sensitive information from the government to him. This is likely what he's most likely to face accountability for, more than anything. Maybe. And that's a big stretch, and that's a big maybe as well. Mandelson leaked sensitive UK government tax plans to Epstein. Keir Starmer orders an inquiry into Business Secretary's conduct during his time as minister. An explainer piece there, not interested. Reeves takes aims at Trump in a call for UK and EU to speak with one voice on trade. British Chancellor in talks with EU Commission aimed at deepening economic integration. Well, the best way to do that is by joining the single market and customs union. That's one of the best ways of doing that. So, there. We talked about that yesterday. Yep, the reformed Russian Kent Council's Musk-inspired cost-cutting drive. We touched on that yesterday on yesterday's live stream. So if you missed that, do check that out. JP Morgan should threaten UK over bank attacks, Mandelson told Epstein. Former Business Secretary has quit Labour Party in the effort to cause further embarrassment. Sarah Ferguson received $150,000 from Jeffrey Epstein after share sale. Transaction is latest evidence in the extent of the friendship that former Prince Andrew's ex-wife forged with the sex offender. Ugh. Oh dear. Let's have a look at the front page of it. Yeah, SpaceX buys XAI in $1.25 trillion deal to unite crucial part of Musk's empire. So the rocket company boosts valuation to $1 trillion and pays $250 billion to acquire AI startup as Musk envisions data centers in space. And you got an exclusive there saying OpenAI's ChatGPT push trigger senior staff exits. Silver runaway rally becomes a death trap for Reddit's retail crowd. An exclusive here. Virgin Media O2 owners to seal $2 billion acquisition of UK broadband rival. So they're buying. It's bad enough that Virgin Media and O2 have merged, but now they're buying more. They're sweeping up more competition. I don't like that. Don't like that at all. Demands for UK rental properties drop as buying becomes more affordable. Good. Let's hope that continues. China bans Tesla-style hidden car door handles. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the car door handles, of the hidden ones. I like if I'm being nitpicky, and this is just me being nitpicky, I like the ones where you just put your hand under there. Yeah, I prefer that personally, but that's just being me nitpicky if I had to be fussy with a car door. Epstein email reveals executive ties with top Goldman Sachs lawyer. Yeah. Inside Trump's £550 billion shakedown of Japan Incorporated. Tokyo signed the US president's biggest deal yet. Will the investment ever materialize? I can't open any of these stories, by the way, guys, because these are all behind paywalls, just for reference. This is the Financial Times, guys, in case anyone's wondering why I haven't opened any of these stories. We should be able to when we get to the Independent. iPaper is also one behind paywalls as well, I'm afraid. Boss of private equity group permanently quits the UK for Switzerland there. Santander launches 98% mortgage for first-time buyers. Arbitration for divorces in England and Wales doubles in 2 years. Ukraine agreed multi-tier plan for enforcing any ceasefire with Russia in exclusive. Russia hits Ukraine's energy sites as Trump truce unravels there. India Ruby records biggest one-day gain in 7 years after Trump trade deal update. Yeah, so obviously the big story, one of the stories from the trade, from what they've agreed apparently, and we'll touch on it later, is they've agreed to stop buying Russian oil. Apparently, India has. Apparently, that's what they've agreed to. Siemens Energy calls for Trump policy stabilizing. This commits $1 billion to US. Challenges holding back UK's push into low carbon hydrogen there. Iron Brew maker buys Fentimans and the Frobishers in adult soft drinks push. How Thailand became the sixth sick man of Asia there they have as well. And in an interview, Bolivia buries 20 years of socialism with capitalism for all reforms. Sounds like Bolivia are going in a very different direction to what the country is already in there, from the sounds of it. There was an election recently in South America, wasn't there? Was it the Bolivia one? Wasn't there another one recently? They talked about. I'm pretty sure there was another one. Or am I thinking about one on African continent? Pretty sure one of the two there. But not so more landlords can buy the flats and then rent them for twice the value. Yeah, we need to basically we need to have more houses owned. We need to have more houses owned there. 30 deaths because folk couldn't get out of crashed Chinese EVs. It was electric door handles that are different from Tesla door handles. It was a micro switch. Oh, there was no manual whatsoever to the door handles. That's bad. That's bad. That's really bad. Like you need to have a manual option in case of emergency. Thanks for sharing that, Viper Scott. Oh, damn. Ellie, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. Let's have a look at the iPaper here. Just a reminder, if you're on YouTube, if you guys want to help me achieve today's Super Chat goal, you can do as well. If you want to find support in any way, you could also consider joining the YouTube membership for as little as 99p as well. Other options is buy me a coffee or joining Patreon. Links are in the description. If you buy me a coffee or join Patreon, one of the two, your name gets added to the list you see on your screen there of all the wonderful people who supported me when I was demonetized. Operation Stop Farage, a new tactical voting plan for Starmer's critical by-election. Yeah, the Labour Party tweeted out, I think it was yesterday, they tweeted on their Twitter page that it says, it's a two-horse race between Labour and Reform for the by-election. It's like, no, it's not actually. It's a two-horse race between Reform and Greens. But they're trying to paint that picture. They're trying to paint that picture there. Martin, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well there. They got an exclusive day in 2024. Labour won more than 50% of the vote in Gorton and Denton, with no other party getting above 15% there. There, obviously, Politics Joe went down to the went down there and spoke to some people. There was quite a few people who were kind of keen on the Greens. Some were still backing. Some were still going up. I think one or two were still kind of keen on Nigel Farage and Reform as well, though. So it's definitely not it's not a foregone conclusion in any way, shape, or form. That one, it's still going to be a big mountain to climb for the Greens to achieve. Exclusive fast track cancer screening at GPs and food banks. I'm sure we saw that yesterday. The five factions in Labour and the dangers Starmer's rated. Benefit claimants to get £150 discount on energy bills until 2031. Yet we've talked about that story in the past when government announced it. An exclusive poll from them Reform surges to 12 points lead over Labour as Tory support falls, according to their polling there. I don't know where that polling is from. Front of news here of the iPaper. I'm a disabled driver and I've had my window smashed and blue badge stolen twice. Theft, fraud and misuse threatens the credibility of vital parking schemes. So what do you do? What do you do for people with disabled drivers then? If the people are stealing the badges? I'm not sure what to do then. That's twice now she's had her car stolen. Not a car stolen, but had her blue badge stolen. Like, it's just like, and I'm sure it's an absolute pain in the arse for her to get a new one as well. It must be an absolute pain in the arse there. Blanchard, hello there. Good morning to you. Hope you are doing well there on Twitch. I know why it's Pete's Music. Thank you for coming. Take care, Pete on YouTube there. Sarah Davis said, being on disability, I have no choice but to rent DWP. Won't pay a mortgage for the person on disability or benefits, but will pay a landlord's mortgage and leaves people vulnerable to rent rises and landlords to sell up and not pay the mortgage, making the renters homeless. Yeah, the government are not doing enough to support. I'm sorry to hear that, Sarah. I hate it when people are backed into corners where they have to no choice but to go only one direction. It's very very frustrating. Replace the blue badge with a sticker. Well, the thing is that the stick. What? You put the sticker on? What? Stick it on the car? Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, putting it on the putting a blue sticker on the car rather than a blue badge. Maybe that would work. But then they might resort to stealing the car, then, won't they? That sticker might be a better option. Yeah. I can't open the piece, by the way, because these are all behind paywalls, just for reference here. Yeah, that way if you steal a sticker, it's useless once it's taken out of the car. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, you could do something like that. Once you stick it to the window, you can't peel it off or something. Yeah. If you peel it off, you can't use it again or something like that. Yeah, maybe. All the Android photos in the Epstein files show they're sticking in Bond. What's they got here? The toxic chemicals in your clothes and frying pans polluting rivers and seas, apparently. The reason why it's unlikely Andrew would testify in the US. Well, the thing is, we can't force Andrew to go to the US to testify. That's the problem. How can we force him? He has questions to answer, but I don't see how we can force him in some way, shape. I'm not sure what the UK government can do to force him. I don't know what they can do. Grammy Award stars take aim at Trump's immigration crackdown. The problem is as well, he's still connected to the royal family even though he's lost his titles. What else we got here? Any health? Yeah, fast track cancer screening at GPs and food banks. West Street wants to end the postcode lottery, which has led to inequalities in checks. Patients face painkiller and blood pressure shortages, and this is why. My MS is getting worse, and I have to fight for PIP 3 times. 3 times. 3 times I had to fight for PIP. That's terrible. So frustrating for them. Iran given final ultimatum to ward off US strikes. Here's what could happen next. Trump wants to strike so badly. The Arab nations need to wheel Trump in. The Arab nations need to, once again, they need to step in. They need to call Washington and they need to tell them and threaten America. Remember, America relies heavily on Saudi Arabia for the oil market. They can screw up the oil market anytime they want. They can destabilize it. That's what Saudi Arabia should do. Literally get on the phone to Trump and say, you're not going to strike Iran because if you do, we're going to upset the oil markets. And you don't want us doing that. And we're going to use less of the petrodollar as well. Like, they have leverage. The Arab nations have leverage against America. I've said this already. They can stop any kind of strike. Doesn't matter how much Israel begs. If it's going to hurt America, they'll back off. They will back off. But Saudis hate Iran too. They do hate Iran too. They do hate Iran too. That's absolutely true. What they don't want is any more instability in the Middle East. Yeah, that's one thing they don't want. A lot of these countries have suffered a sheer amount of instability, and they don't want any more of that. There are a lot of Arab nations already want this want a bit of stability. You know, obviously the biggest problem of the stability is obviously Israel. We know that. You know, I mean, look, they struck 5 different countries last year. I mean, they're still striking Gaza, West Bank, Lebanon, and probably I haven't heard any strikes in Syria, but I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't done some already this year. Tony, you haven't done anything wrong. Yeah, all opinions are welcome. Just be civil in your discourse. Okay. Viper Scott, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. All hail DPR and Ollie too, and for the flurry. Yeah, I might be getting the duck possibly today. So he may appear later on today on the live stream later on today, possibly. But yeah, the gang are here. Here. I need to find a new place for them, guys, because yeah, where they are right now is not working. So yeah, the gang are here. Yeah, if you're a YouTube member, you get emojis of them as well. Right, let's keep going, guys. We've got, let's have a look and see what the Independent is saying here. We can open up some of these if we want to. The European Union is open-minded about Britain rejoining customs union, blog finance chief has said. EU's finance chief Vallis says the blog was ready to engage if the UK wanted to explore a customs union. So, look, I've got to be brutal here. I've said this before and I've said this again. And I know people are not going to like this, but it doesn't matter right now. It doesn't matter right now. And it doesn't matter how instabilized the global economy is. It's all well and good everyone saying that for our benefit, we need to rejoin the European Union. And I agree. We should rejoin the European Union. There's just one big effing problem, guys. And that is we have two major political parties in Westminster who are vehemently for Brexit and will undermine any attempt for us to rejoin the European Union in any way, shape or form. And that includes a customs union, because I guarantee you a reform conservative coalition or a reform Russian government will undo whatever customs union we try to develop with the EU. And there's just no point. There is just literally no point in having that discussion. The only way this is going to change, I've said this before and I've said this again, the only way this is going to change is you have to convince the hearts and minds of everyone. You got to convince more people to support rejoining the EU and the benefits of it. And you also have got to influence politicians to change their mind too, as well as political parties. We need to get the majority of political parties on board, as well as the majority of the public. Yes, 60 to 40 is not enough. It's got to be like 80 to 20% of the public who are demanding it. And in that way, it forces these political parties to back off from not wanting to do this as well. Like, again, I can't stress this enough. Like, it doesn't matter if Labour starts it and reform comes in at the next general election, just undoes it all. It's a complete waste of time. I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but we need to be honest about it. So it's pointless having that conversation. It's pointless having that conversation when we know, that we have political parties who are not far off from power, who can easily just switch it over in a dime. And it also undermines, and not only will do that, right? Not only will that happen, right? But it also, again, Starmer has, like, for the faults he has rebuilt relations with the European Union since he came into power, okay? That I will give him credit for. But it will all go down the toilet when reform comes in. It'll all go down the toilet again. That's what's going to happen. I'm just being brutal with you guys. I'm not going to BS you guys on this. Like, there's no point talking about it. Who is Peter Mandelson? An idiot, a weirdo, someone who should not be in the House of Lords, among many other things. MPs are to vote on the lifting the two-child benefit. Yep, that's today. The Reform and the Conservatives will vote against it because they want to keep your child in poverty. Remember that. There. Good morning, Benjamin. Hope you are doing well. Lou Blanchard said, yeah, when I visited Iraq, it's obviously horrid what happened there, and nobody wants that again. But also, it's the price we pay for imperialism. Yeah, it's the people I feel sorry for. I've spoken in the past about how, the next generation of Iranians, just want to have a decent life, and they can't even get that it's always the case. We have this situation, obviously, I'm sure it's not just there, but in many parts of the world where the younger generation are just not as well off as their adults and their grandparents, and that creates resentment. Yeah, it's not a good time, at all. Don't look like there's a lot of strike action. Let's have a look at the front of UK actually, just see what they say here. Andrew congratulated Epstein on his release from house arrest. Wow. Man sues for $1 million after claiming he lost a leg due to a coffin boss. What? Epstein celebrated Brexit and returned to tribalism, emails suggest. David Cameron attacked Labour damages for school reforms. David Cameron can go F himself as far as I'm concerned. This is the guy that imposed austerity and made all our lives worse off. Okay, he destroyed a lot of public services. So I'll take no lectures from that little man. Snow and rain to hit UK. 13-year-old arrested after e-bike crashed with a pregnant woman. Oh my god. Yeah, the law is not clear on e-bikes. We need to be more clear. One thing I don't like is walking down the road and there's an e-bike on the pathway with me. I don't like that. I really hate that. I know I understand the perks of an e-bike, but yeah. Electric scooter, sorry. Yeah. What else is there? Paris offices of Elon Musk's ex raided by cybercrime authorities, apparently. Beloved BBC show abruptly axed after Freddie Flintoff jumped ship, apparently. Is that it? Looks like that's all the Independent's got. Not really some interesting stories there. Got about 9 minutes left here, guys. If anyone wants to get towards this live stream super chat goal, you can do if you want to there. If you can't, Spanish support, best thing to do, hitting that like button, sharing across social media, subscribing. If you're on Twitch, hit that follow button, and you can hit the bell notification icon so you'll be notified of when I go live again there for reference. David Cameron was also the one that promised the EU referendum. Yeah, that was he was the one who thinking, oh yeah, if I do it, I'll win. Yeah, we'll definitely win it. One of the biggest mistakes. Is he sorry for it? No, not really. The only bikes that should be on the path are kids. Yeah. Right, let's have a look at the BBC here. Police review misconduct. Yep, we know about that. Anderson revelations. Yep. What do emails between Malice and Epstein say? Already responded to that EU story. Sadiq given second Bangladesh jail sentence. Yep. MP arrested over more alleged sexual offences. We covered that yesterday's live stream. If you guys want to know more about that story. Resident doctors vote in favour of more strike action. Yeah, kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. But yeah, strike action for doctors there. We touched on that story yesterday about drone incidents near the UK base. Drug policy approach needs to change, Polanski says. So I covered this in a short video just for reference here. So there needs to be a change system on drug policies, Green leader Zach Polanski says. He reiterated he's backing for the legalisation of drugs. He called for a public health approach which would ensure that someone who has a problematic relationship with drugs could get help from a medical professional. Polanski said he has personally never taken drugs or alcohol, adding it wasn't for me. Asked why he's never drunk alcohol. Grew up in a store where lots of my friends were drinking. In fact, taking drugs felt like somebody needed to be sober. I always liked dancing without taking drugs, drink or drugs. If anyone wants to do it, and they're doing it safely, that's fine. I'm glad people are having a good time. But we know lots of people aren't doing it safely, so let's make sure we get them the support they need. Common sense answers. Yeah, I'm all for legalization of drugs. I am. Bring it into the system. Let it be controlled by those who can. Why leave it on the black market? Like, it's better to be in-house, in the system. And also, it creates a market as well. And guess what? Guess what a market in-house does? It creates money for, guess what? The economy. What good is it being in the black market anyway? And also, we can watch over it, as well. And it could be distributed safely to people who need it. And it can also, for those who are bringing harm to, we can stop it bringing harm to those. You know, if you're putting it over the counter rather than behind an alleyway, buying it in an alleyway, that's a better thing. Or more finding it dark webs online as well. So, there. So, asked whether they believe legalization could send a message to young people that using drugs will be okay. That's not what it says. This is nonsense. This is nonsense here. Polanski replies, I think the danger is happening right now is where we're pushing it into street corners in the black market. Yeah, 100% agree. He pointed to the organisation Anyone's Child set up by families who have died to drug use. They're saying very clearly with one voice, we need a national conversation about how the war on drugs is not working, Polanski says. And I agree. I absolutely agree. We need to change the way we think about drugs. And we shouldn't be punishing people for taking drugs. People keep getting punished. We need to be looking at why are they taking drugs? What are we doing to help them? What's their situation? Because everyone's situation is different. It could be people who are homeless and have absolutely nothing. And they when they build up the money they need to from collecting coins and whatnot, they go and buy drugs. And not because that they don't want to feed or drink themselves or whatever. It's because they need those drugs to keep themselves sane, to keep themselves from taking their own life in some cases. Like that's how, like that's where, what are we doing to help like someone in that situation, for example? So there are very good arguments, yeah, for legalizing it. So yeah, I absolutely agree with Polanski on that one. What have they got on the front on the UK tab? Anything that we haven't seen here? 1 million people miss HMRC's tax return deadline, apparently. Estimated 1 million people missed the deadline to file their tax returns and now face penalties, according to HM Revenue and Customs. The UK tax authority said 27,000 people filed in the final hour before the cut-off. Returns at midnight at the end of Saturday. After HMRC stayed open, website chats were extended at the weekend. These are people filling through an online self-assessment was from 5 o'clock on Saturday. Some 475,000 people filed on the final day out of total of about 11.5 million submissions. Those who missed the deadlines face an automatic £100 penalty. Yeah. That's a lot of people not missing out there. You can't cut costs with animal welfare. The British Zoo fighting for survival. And it comes as BBC Research says 40% of accredited zoos and aquariums in the UK and Ireland have publicly raised concerns about their finances since 2022. Zoos, including Dartmoor, Pagan, Newquay, London, and Walsall, Bristol, and Jersey, which recorded a 4.8 million deficit in 2024, reported financial struggles to deal with rising costs. You can't cost animal welfare. That's not good. Yeah, I never go to London Zoo anymore because it's far too expensive. Like, I miss going to a zoo, but yeah, they're too expensive now. They're too expensive for me. Yeah, it's not good for them. Chicken in many school dinners imported from China and Thailand. Is that a bad thing? As long as it doesn't make them sick, I don't suppose that's really a problem, in my view. Anything else here? Nope, don't look like anything else there. It's all about Epstein. Yeah, that's an interesting story. Paris prosecutors raid France offices in Elon Musk's X. I might cover that on Global News. Guys. I'll have a look. Got about 2 minutes left here. Looks like we're not going to get today's Super Chat goal. But we can't get it every time. Hopefully tomorrow will be a different day, but we'll see. Starmer could face Crunch Commons vote tomorrow, as well as Hung Young Men emails emerges, and more on Mandelson there. Those are all stories that we looked at from yesterday. Those are all yesterday. If you got anything that's not yesterday, Sky News. Baby in serious condition after boy 13. Yeah, we saw that story. Goals set for the biggest rise since 2008. Greg's taking on Costa and Starbucks with a new product, apparently. Denmark has become a cancer pioneer. This is why the UK is lagging behind. My washing machine's been eating 1,000 pounds of clothes. Why? Well, I suggest you get a new washing machine then. The Ozzy Osbourne tape that was never played until now, apparently, as well. They got that story there. Not a lot there from Sky News. Let's have a quick look at The Guardian before we head out. Let's have a quick look, see what they're saying there. Just a quick reminder, guys, I'll be going live at 4 o'clock today. That's literally in 4 hours' time as well. So if you guys want to join me for global news outside the UK, I might be going 2 hours long possibly with that show, guys. So do consider joining me for the, because it's going to be episode 100. Episode 100, guys. Any stories here we haven't seen? Environmentalists decry crushing disappointment at PFAA's action plan for the UK. Sounds like they haven't got a good plan there from the looks of it there. More stuff on Mandelson. Student loans. Why is Martin Lewis clashing with Rachel Reeves? Because Rachel Reeves thinks student loans are totally okay. And in my view, they're not okay. And we shouldn't be piling our kids in debts. The state, in my opinion, should be paying for our children's future so that the children then pay us back in doing so, rather than leaving them with piles of debt that some of them may never, ever pay off for the rest of their lives. Maybe that might be the reason. They're fiddling about with it too much. More on Mandelson and Epstein. Police tried to incite activists to firebomb shop. UK inquiry hears. EU has open mind on UK Customs Union talk. UK shoppers to buy more fruit and yogurt to Healthy Start in 2026. That's what normally happens anyway. People buy healthy at the start of the year. They always tend to do that. They start hitting the gyms, all that kind of stuff. And then what happens? People start dissipating and start falling out of it. Egg cuts cause 22 million avoidable deaths by 2030. Study finds there. River Fort sales rise 6% in UK organics market. Enjoys biggest boom in 2 decades. Those are some of the stories there from The Guardian as we are over time here. Thank you again, Viper Scott, for the £2 super chat. A name for duck from chat, a poll. Yes, I was thinking of doing that as well, but I'll wait for it to arrive before we have a debate about the name for the duck. We'll have a debate on that, and obviously I'll need to make an emoji when it comes as well at some point as well. But thank you for those super chats, my friend. Appreciate it. Guys, again, just before I go, I'll be live again at 4 o'clock today. So if you can join me for Global News episode 100, we might go about 2 hours long for that because it's going to be the final one. It's going to be the last time for a while before I do a live stream on a Tuesday afternoon/evening for the foreseeable future. So if you guys can join me for that, feel free to do so. But for now, I am done here. Thank you guys again for all your comments. Thank you guys for both on Twitch and on YouTube today. Really appreciate so many people coming out. Do consider checking out the short videos that I drop on the channel as well. Some snippets of stories there, guys. If you can, do check out those short videos. Leave some likes, leave some comments on them, because the algorithm has been very, very mean to me, guys. I can't stress very mean to me. They are killing, for whatever reason, the algorithm is not boosting the short videos. So if you get a chance to see any of the short videos that I drop regularly, drop a like on them, leave a comment. It would really help boost the algorithm for those videos. And hopefully you guys find those shorts informative and useful too. Normally the algorithm boosts them for me, but for some reason they're not. It's not boosting them for some reason. I don't know I think YouTube has changed the algorithm in some way, shape or form. So if you guys can help me with that, they'd be greatly appreciated. But before I go, guys, as well, if you can, for me on your way out on this live streams, hit the like button, share across social media, subscribe if you haven't already. Also consider checking out Rumble and Patreon. There's exclusive content on those platforms as well. And you also, as I said, we've got a free Discord community. Link is in the description as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.